Romans 8:5-8. Those who live according to the flesh have their minds set on what the flesh desires, but those who live in accordance with the Spirit have their mind set on what the Spirit desires. The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace. The mind governed by the flesh is hostile to God. It does not submit to God's law, nor can it do so. So those who are in the realm of the flesh cannot please God. That can be some confusing language at first, and some may find it hard to understand. Maybe I should have picked a different version, but I think the bottom line still stays the same. You need to govern your mind, focus on what is right, and your actions may take a while to follow what your mind desires, and may take a little bit to heal, to change, and to grow. But eventually, you will. Eventually, you will find that peace, the thing that you desire so much, that prosperous life. Whatever you need, handle it for you. Live in accordance with God, have your mind set on His ways, and you will be so far ahead. You will be so far up, and everyone will follow your lead, because you are a good leader, leading by good values and good laws. So, that's a pretty quick summary of what we're going to dive in today, which is taking control of your mind. Recently, this week actually, I've had many problems with controlling my temper and the way I speak and the way I act when a problem arises. I was the opposite of stoic. I was very sensitive and very emotional when it came to certain types of problems. Now I have my reasons for that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that I lost my own temper. I lost my own self-control. Things that I pride myself so heavily in, I lost it. I lost what matters to me most, and I almost lost the person that matters to me most. The only way I snapped out of it and got to where I am today, which is literally a few days later, is because they said it. They said, "You're being sensitive and emotional. You need to get yourself together." So immediately, I'm here. Myself is together. Now how to change with my mind. My mind had to switch, had to flip. Go from dealing with problems in this way that almost burned everything that I cared about into a way where it seemed as though these problems were just a mere thing that I can just overcome them with a thought. Now some of you may say that you can't change that fast, but honestly, then that means that you don't know the power of your own mind holds. I trust the power of my mind. I trust that I will not fall into these traps of pride that I have put so deep into my soul. And honestly, when I was talking to this person, having this falling out with them, when they said I was sensitive and emotional, that pinched a nerve in me, that ticked me off so much. But I made a choice. Because if I just did what I've always done, I would have proved their point. That would have hurt me more. So I made a choice. I said, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to stay calm. Think a little bit. And take deep breaths. Process through the problem. And handle it in a much, much better way. I was going through this cycle where I would get angry at something that seemed so minuscule because I wasn't thinking right, and that little minuscule thing would blow up into this huge problem, and I would go into this cycle where all I was doing was being manipulative and running through the person, trying to prove my point was right, when almost every time This is my story of how not controlling my mind almost destroyed what I cared about most. The fact that I'm here today is a miracle because yesterday, no, 2 days ago, I was out. I was being emotional. I couldn't do much because of what I cared about was being lost. It was floating away, slipping through my fingers. All because I couldn't get out of this cycle where I had to be right. Where what I thought I was right, and I knew that the other person had to think that I was right every time. I don't know why they're still here, but they are. That makes me happier than you will ever know. My life has been easy with relationships with other people. It's been hard, and that set precedents to where I don't trust easy, to where I can't articulate my thoughts well, and that I feel threatened very easily. It's not my fault that I'm here, but it's my responsibility to pick myself up and just move forward, be the better man. Because if I let what those people do to me wreck my future, wreck my life that I have, that I'm trying to build for myself with the people that I want in my life in the future, if I let what those people did and betray me, if I let that ruin my life, then they have won. There's a saying that says, your haters are holding their breath, waiting for you to fail. Make sure they suffocate. And I will. There was a slip up, but I know I can get through it. I know I can be better. I know I will be better. It all starts with the mind. It also comes into places with addiction. If you are having any addiction, you need to start at the root in your mind. A lot of this has just been a story, but not a lot of people know that you can learn the most out of a story. So understand this. The time you have now with the people that you care about. Watch your mind, watch yourself, and think before you act. Grind like a man, become a legend.